Okay, so I turned 23 4 days ago. I had planned to make this video on my birthday, but I just really spent most of that day reflecting and just taking a day in. And I'm in a generation now where I guess everything's happening so fast. So if you turn even like a year older than 20, you're like uncle. So there's that. Whenever this video is watched, maybe 10 or X amount of years from now, people will be like, bro, he's a grandpa. Because being 18 or 16 will be an uncle? Who knows? I don't know. But with turning a new age, in this age of like modernity, everything moving so fast, I have, I guess, hit my level of realization for something that most people at some point figure out. But I guess I figured it out my way. And I would like to explain it the way that I see it because sometimes you can say the same message to certain people, but it's the messenger that clicks for certain people. I know that it's like that for me. I realized that with everything that I'm planning to obtain and achieve, you need to pay to win. And it's not the traditional pay to win that you're thinking about with material money. That's a part of it, for sure. But you need to pay with your time and energy and effort. That is, before you can get money to pay to win, you need to put time and effort. You need to actually do something with your time and effort to actually use that money to win or to pay to win, I should say. And I guess this directly applies to the me and the entrepreneurial path that I'm going down, but this is also applicable to anything. If you're a basketball player, if you are a Twitch streamer, if you're an artist, academic, scholar, politician, cook, anything, you need to pay to win. And by paying to win, when you have nothing to monetarily, I don't know if that's even a word, monetary wise, pay, you need to put time and energy. That has been, I think, the basic rule since the beginning of time. With everything, takes time and energy and effort for anything to come out. I'm a sole believer, not a sole believer, but I'm a strong believer that there are no outputs without inputs. Duality shows you that. Polarity shows you that. Things that complement each other, opposites, show you that. There is never a thing without an opposite to it. The opposite of something is nothing. The opposite of nothing is something. So where I'm going with this is by saying that I have learned that that is what is necessary in order for strides and efforts to be made, progress to be made in the journey that I want to go down. And for someone who feels a bit lost and doesn't understand what goal or thing they want for themselves, I need you to understand that you can quite literally become almost anything you want. You can almost learn anything you want. You can get very, very close to the exact thing that you want. There are certain things that are going to be like, obviously, one in a million. And if you only want to be a one in a million kind of thing, I guess you have to deal with one in a million like results and be okay with that. I'll give an example. If somebody wants to be like in the NFL or in the NBA or MLB or any type of major league sports, NHL, those who can't teach. So if you have a love for the sport of whatever sport you like, you might not be able to be exactly that prime position that you're looking at, but you might still be able to be involved and get paid handsomely to be within that niche or that field, whether being a coach, assistant coach. Like, there are plenty of jobs within those fields that allow you to be right next to the thing that you wanted. Some people might take that in the perspective of, well, that's just going to be a constant reminder that I never got to that thing. Or you could take it in the perspective of, you got closer than anybody else that went after it and didn't get it. You're still involved. So that's like a small example, I guess. For somebody who wants to be a head cook at a Michelin star restaurant, if you don't get the Michelin star restaurant, just create your own restaurant and treat it like a very, very good restaurant. Treat it with the same standard and expectations of a Michelin star restaurant. I've learned that a lot of things that we want can either be mimicked or obtained. But the thing that needs to happen in order for that to become a reality is you need to pay to win. And this might sound a bit extreme, but I'm somebody that understands that I would much rather die trying than dying not have tried at all. Because I know for me, on my deathbed, if I figured out that I did not try, or I realized that I did not try my whole life to at least obtain some percentage of what my full capabilities were, I would die a slow death even if it was a fast one. Simple. That's just how strongly I believe that, and that might sound dramatic, but that's truly what I believe. I do not think that you are put on this planet to drift, to just go on autopilot, aimlessly not knowing where you're going. There's a old motivational speaker, I think he was like from like the 40s or 50s. His name was Earl Nightingale. And he has this thing where he talks about, if you put a ship with a crew and a captain and sails, it will no doubt get to where it needs to go. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter the easiest or the hardest path, but it will no doubt get to where it needs to go. Now, if you take that same ship and take away the crew and take away the sails and just let it on the water, it will not get to that destination. Why? Because there's no direction, there's no intention to showing the vessel how to get to where it needs to go. There's no intention to put it in the right direction. Your body, your mind, is a vessel. Or should I say your body is a vessel. Your mind is the captain. And the conditions or the things in your life and the resources are your crew. How you operate that is what allows you to get close or obtain the exact life that you want. I am religiously obsessed with the goal that I want and the life that I want for myself. And the reason why I'm even talking about this, and I don't care who watches it, is because I need you to understand that level of obsession for the life that you want in moving and actually putting things that are applicable, like action, into it, is going to put in a deposit of you paying to win. If you do pretty much everything that you need to do, you're going to get very, very, very close, if not exactly to where you want to go. Truly. That's just how things happen. That's just how things work. Obviously, throughout the planning and the working, you're going to have to adapt and move and utilize different rooms and resources, but that's part of playing to win, paying to win. That's part of it. No game is just go from A to Z with no other letters in between. No game was ever designed like that, and no good game was ever designed like that. If you started a game, whether it be a physical game or a digital game, and when you press start, you took one step and that was the end of the game, you would have been utterly annoyed that you paid money for that. Or even if it was free, you would have said this game sucked. I see why it was free. Why would you ever expect your life to be the same? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you ever expect your life to be A to Z? Why would you ever expect the things that you want to be A to Z? Why would you ever expect the person you want to be A to Z? You need every single letter in between to get there. Now, sometimes, in a sense, I've noticed this, that whenever you pay like physical money to win, all you're doing is you're expediting the time and effort, which is the first thing that you'd pay to win. That's all you're doing. You still have to then put in time and effort. Because let's say for me as an entrepreneur, if I was creating a business, which I am, and I bought a mentorship program to expedite my process, which I haven't, I am expediting the time that it would take to get to that point. But once I am getting that level of experience and mentorship, I'm still going to have to put in time and effort for it to actually make sense. Because if I pay time and effort, or if I pay money to get that mentorship and coaching, but I don't put any time and effort after that, I wasted my money. Because at the end of the day, it always goes back down to the energy, time, and effort that you put in to the things that you want for those things to actually become a reality. Before money was a concept and everything was trade, what you were exercising was time and energy. That was a trade. I can do this thing for you. You can do this thing for me. It's both going to take us time, but we're both going to value what we're giving to each other because we understand that we both put time and energy into it. Then money took place of that. The only reason why companies are built and set up the way they are set up is because employees sell their time. Employees are the reason why companies work, because money is their goal and their motive. Time and effort is what they understand equates to a dollar value per hour. Hour is a time concept. It's as simple as that. And if we're not making anything with our time, then we are wasting our time. We are not paying to win. The only reason a CEO looks lazy is because all they did was they initially put in a lot of time and energy and got enough payment, material paper, that allowed them to buy others' time and energy so that they could get their time and energy back. So if you are someone who is lost, if you're someone who is trying to figure out what to make sense of in your life, find something. Most of the time, it's something that you already watch and like. Find something that allows you to either make monetary value around it or create a path that you can make monetary value around it. We live in a world where it is economically, at least in the West, in the United States, this side of the world, where it is looking scary. Job market sucks. Car market sucks. Housing market sucks. People are having like kids and it doesn't even make sense because you can barely afford to keep up with yourself. But that's their choice, not ours, or not the people that have chosen to do it. Some people understand and said that's the only way to do it. But others are too scared because this is the kind of market that we live in. It's a bad market. But even in a bad market, people who have money still operate and thrive because they have utilized time and energy to get to a point where they're also not as affected when it comes to it. When it comes to the consequences of the modern world that we live in right now. They don't have to deal, they have cushion. So I look at it as, why would you not do your best to become someone who can have cushion for themselves? Doesn't mean that you're still not going to have to try and work like everybody else, but how you work and put in your time is going to look very different than everybody else. It's one of the sole reasons. There is no sole reason. I have too many reasons on why I want to figure this life thing out and make it. Too many reasons. I can make a video just about that, and it would be multiple videos. Just like anybody else can. There are people that are, I hate to be like, there are people that are more stupid than me, making more progress than me, and there's people that are smarter than me, making more progress than me. There's people that are in way worse situations than me, making more progress than me, and there's people that have it perfect, making more progress than me. And what I'm saying by that is there will always be competition, no matter what you do. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Indian. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're anything else other than that. You will always have competition, no matter what. The level of competition will vary. Stop chasing the least amount of competition, because at some point it will become oversaturated as well. Things are always going to be at some way, shape, or form oversaturated. If you can hop on the wagon early and you figure that out, good luck. Great for you. But most things have been figured out because we live in a world where the thing that I'm recording on is $1 trillion device. You can ask it any question, even more now with OpenAI. You could do it before. You just took more time and energy. You had to pay time and energy to figure out something. Now the reduction has become increasingly smaller. You can ask OpenAI almost anything and get some clear guideline on how to move forward on the thing that you want to do. There's a free option. Yes, you're going to get moments that you stop and can't use it for a little bit. But the craziest part about that is if you just wait a little bit, you get to ask it whatever you want again. So what I'm saying is anyone who does not see themselves moving forward right now is allowing certain limitations to be their story. And I know that sounds harsh, but you have the ability to say, fuck all of that that's trying to hold me back and move forward. It's just going to take some time, depending on how severe your situation is. You will have to pay to win. The ones who do not win are not willing to pay. They aren't. Paying looks like sacrifice. Paying looks like giving up your time. Paying looks like picking discipline over distractions. Paying looks like, I want this life for myself, so I'm going to play the long game. And that long game could look like so many different things. It could look like 19 months of straight working. Or it could look like 10 years. Depending on what goal you will have a different time horizon than others. Pay to win.